Today we are going to make the best goddamn rice and peas you've ever tasted in your entire life. It's easy, it's going to be tasty, it's going to be fluffy, you're going to absolutely love it, and when you see how easy it is to cook, you're going to be cooking it every single Sunday. So if you're up for the challenge and you're ready, let's get your ingredients and let's do this. I've just got some dry peas here, dry kidney peas or beans, whatever you want to call them. I use dry beans. I don't know why I'm calling them beans, like peas. You can use the tinned, it's completely up to you. There's no wrong or right way. I always use dry because I prefer the texture. I find the tin peas are a bit too soft, and also when you use the dried peas, your rice gets that nice kind of pea colour. So yeah, I always use the dry peas, but if you want to use tinned, just skip this process. So I'm just going to cover these peas in water and let them soak overnight. Now this is a must. Peas take a long time to cook anyway, but they kind of it shortens the time if you soak them. So I would suggest soaking your peas. There you go. I have just slightly covered the peas with cold water, and now I'm going to add my seasonings and flavourings. Flavouring of the peas. So I have got some sweet red pepper, onion, spring onion, oops, dropping it, fresh thyme, got 2 scotch bonnets here that I have just taken out the freezer. As you can see, they're looking very frosty. What I always do is I just pierce them slightly just to release a little bit of the flavour but not too much of the heat. So I just pierce them twice. They can go in. Some garlic paste. And then some black pepper. At this stage we are not going to put any salt in, so just give it a mix up. Let the garlic mix into everything. Right, now just make sure your peas are still covered in water after putting all of that in. And I can see mine aren't completely covered with water, so I'm going to add a little bit more cold water. Okay, actually I'm going to put a little bit more in there. A little bit more, that's better. And I'm going to leave that overnight now, or for at least 7 hours, but I always leave my peas overnight to soak. So just put your lid on it, put it to a cool area in your kitchen, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peas have been soaking overnight, so now I've got a tin of organic coconut milk. I don't use the coconut block, and I know a lot of people that do in their rice and peas, but I go for the milk. So the whole tin. And then we're going to put this on a medium heat and cook for probably about 1.5 to 2 hours, or until your peas are soft. But I will come and revisit after an hour, have a look, see what's going on. Do keep your eye on it because This will boil over if it's up too high. So make sure that it's at a steady medium heat. You can actually bring it to the boil first, put it on a high heat to bring to the boil, and then just turn it straight down, or just let it gradually get up to heat. Whatever you feel like you want to do, it's up to you. Yeah, so I'll be back in an hour and see how they're getting on. This is what we're looking at after an hour. If you see, like around here, it looks like it's starting to curdle, but it's fine, it's not. I'm just going to give it a little stir, because sometimes the peas stick on the bottom, but they haven't on this occasion. And put the lid back on and go for another hour. Just keep checking on it, because sometimes the liquid can dry out, so you might need to add some water to it, or as I said before, the peas could burn on the bottom of the pan, so just keep an eye on it. But I'm going to clear off for another hour now. And they should be near enough cooked after that time. But we will check and see. Okay, so it has been about 2.5 hours, I reckon. So we're going to test these peas. And what I do is very carefully, because of course they are super hot, is get a pea out. And then... normally get a teaspoon and then just push, and you can see that is nicely cooked. It's not hard, it's lovely and soft. So that is ready. So at this stage, this is when we're going to add the salt. Now this is going to be a little scary, guys, for the health conscious people. Everybody knows who can cook rice and peas the correct and tasty way, that the salt content is very important. Now I only eat Himalayan salt because it's so much better for you. So this is my justification for putting this much salt in. Now you can try it without this much salt, but this is how much salt I put in, guys. A tablespoon. It might seem a lot, but you need to flavour that rice. So I'm going to just mix that up, bring up the temperature, allow the salt to melt and dissolve into your coconut and pea mixture. So I'm going to give it like a minute or so just to dissolve. Salt is nicely dissolved. What I did do a second ago, which I'm going to do again, is I just tasted the liquid to see if it was the right amount of saltiness, and it is. So now what I'm going to do is add my washed rice. Now I always use Easy Cook basmati. I think you'll probably see from my last videos when I was cooking rice, but I prefer the texture of Easy Cook basmati. It's just my thing. If you want just normal basmati, you can use that, but I prefer Easy Cook. So I'm going to, do you know what, looking at this, I think I'm going to need to put this in a bigger pan. Okay, so I've transferred it into a bigger pan. I'm just going to mix the rice and peas up. Now normally if I've got too much liquid in here, I will remove some, but for some reason today I've got the exact amount of liquid that I need. Clearly because I am amazing. So what you want is you just want to slightly cover your rice and peas with liquid. And first of all, I'm going to have it on a higher temperature. So I've got it on 4. Bring it to the boil, and then I'm going to put it low, and I'm not going to touch it at all. I'm going to put the lid on and I'm just going to leave it for 20 minutes. No messing around with it, and you will have perfect rice and peas every single time. 20 minutes is up. Rice is cooked, and just to give you a little look, it's nice and fluffy, perfectly cooked, not mushy, just the perfect rice and peas. Now, originally I was a bit selfish about giving out this recipe, because everyone who knows me and who has tasted my rice and peas absolutely loves it. They know that it is the bang bang. So I wasn't happy about sharing it, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to share it. I'm going to be a nice person. I'm going to let everyone else experience this rice and peas and let them know how to cook it. But in all honesty, I can't take all of the credit for this recipe, because I was taught how to make this rice and peas in my 20s by my dear friend Janine. So shout out to Janine. Love you, Janny. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't know how to cook this. Now, I have tweaked the recipe slightly, but she did show me how to originally do it, so we cannot give a shout out to Janine. Okay, so there we go. Rice and peas, done, fluffy. And honestly, this is going to be the best rice and peas you ever cook. Now, be very careful, because we've got those scotch bonnets that are still in there somewhere. So when you're serving up, just be careful to remove. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's one. Let's get rid of that. We don't want it to burst and kill someone. There's another one in there somewhere, but I'll find it later on. But yeah, enjoy.